Hey guys, Amy and Loie here with your playful experiment and also sweating it out in the sauna like you know we do. Yeah, we always like to do this when we're in this little box and it seems like a sound booth and we're also sitting here with nothing else to do. So here we are again with your playful experiment for the week, sweating like crazy. If you don't already know, your playful experiment is something that you do with a partner for fun, and your partner is assigned to you, and you can find out who your partner is on a list inside of our group. No one can tell us, and you guys get together via video call or something, and you do that once a week. And this is your playful experiment for this week, and it is called All the Possibilities. All right, you're going to come up with an area where it feels like it's not possible or it's pretty limited, like earning $1 million or, being able to own your own tropical island or something, whatever. Those are all to do with material things, but it could be any other thing, like feeling totally unafraid to do X, Y, or Z. Being a fearless person or, whatever, something like that feels like not so possible. The possibilities seem pretty limited. And you're going to then go back and forth with each other and list all the possibilities that could actually still happen. All the possibilities, even the most insane, outlandish, probably no one would ever have thought of that, possibilities, like all of them. And so it's going to be wild and fun because you guys are totally pulling out all of the deep depths of your creativity when you're doing this. This is definitely like an imagination and creativity exercise. And it's going to be amusing, I'm sure. And you're going to do that back and forth. Don't just list your possibilities. The whole point of your partner, actually, in this case, is they tell you possibilities that you would never have thought of. And you can come up with some too, but it's like they throw theirs out on the table and everybody goes for it. Like both of you list all the wild possibilities and then you put your fairly impossible situation on the table too, and you guys both go for it. And so this is sort of like, the reason why I think this exercise is so cool is because it's sort of like a neural pathway. I don't know if you guys have ever heard this, but there's the stuff in science where brain researchers are showing that if you just think one way, down a certain, and this is also how patterns and stuff, this is how like a sports player gets good at hitting that tennis ball because of repetition and over. If there is that pathway that gets used in your brain, your neurons are firing down this pathway often. It's like a ski slope. It gets worn in, like this big snowy mountain with all this cushy snow. Well, yeah, but if you go down it over and over and over and over, then it gets really worn in and it gets slick and it gets like nice and worn in so that you could go down fast and it comes to you quickly this time when you're like ready to, hit the tennis ball this time. And so just like that works to your benefit, like when you're getting good at tennis, it can also work kind of against you where that one way that you typically think of things is just like the fastest and the easiest and you just go down it and you don't think about all the other possibilities on that puffy snow because you try to go down that and it's like, I got stuck immediately in like a big snow hill. But you gotta dig it out, and you can go that way. It actually is a possibility. And I feel like this happens with possibilities and our thinking sometimes in life where we just stick to our same possibilities that we're used to. And our little possibility tunnel is just narrow, it's not very many possibilities. It's a tiny little tube with just these few possibilities that we've considered. And even if half of the things that we mention in this exercise are totally outlandish and are not going to happen, maybe they're out of this world and not even humanly possible. So what? It opens up and broadens our possibility tunnel, our metaphysical, metaphorical possibility tunnel in life. More possibilities can make their way towards you if you just have this big wide tunnel because you have considered all the possibilities. You've opened them all up, and tossed some whatever, ski slope, some sleds down every single one, you know? And so you have so many, so more things can get to you. And this is actually an idea, I'm going to give some credit, that I first heard from a guy named Dave Burns, and he does a bunch of like financial coaching and stuff. And, but I think it was a really cool one to basically open up your possibility tunnel by getting wild and like enjoying coming up with all the crazy possibilities. Like, so if you think that, okay, $1 million, like this is one that's so common because I don't, you know, people really want to be rich, and there's like, $1 million, like I could earn $1 million. Okay, cool. That's like a pretty basic one. And a lot of people feel like, oh, I'm pretty limited on that. I don't know. Cool. What about like a bank clerical error? Like not just all the typical things that we think of, right? Because we think of things like I could go out and earn it. I could create an awesome business. I could find this magical invention. I could, get a PhD and cure, all the diseases, or I could get a PhD and become this like really sought after Nobel Prize winning whatever. Okay, cool. But those are usually the possibilities that we typically think of on like get $1 million, or even like buy a winning lottery ticket. We kind of think of that one too, but like go AWOL, like even more. I mean, say those ones, say them just to get them out there, but then also say the other ones. Like I said, a bank clerical error, or maybe something that's like even more removed, like somebody lost something on the sidewalk. I picked it up. I figured out who it belonged to by going down to the, police station and blah, and I like delivered it to them. And when I delivered it to them, they invited me in to hang out, and so I came in, I hung out, and then I met this other person that happened to be at their house too. A friend of theirs stopped by, and we started talking, and we were just making small talk, but in the small talk, we like came up with the best business idea ever, or, like it started a partnership that led to the most amazing, invention or business idea ever. And so we made $1 million. Or, maybe there was a millionaire who lost whatever, and they just like gave you $1 million because you found their crap on the street and brought it home to them, like all the different possibilities that you can possibly come up with so that you widen this tunnel. All right, so what are some others? What are some things that seem impossible maybe for you, or like limited possibilities?
What about the one where it's like you're you become a brave person who's like not afraid?
The one that we said earlier where it's like all, it seems like not so possible for you to become this like fearless person that you want to be or something. Let's think of possibilities. I mean, and wild ones too. Like maybe you like get a brain injury and it like removes all your fear, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like outlandish works, right? Because we get all the possibilities. Or, maybe all the things that you could possibly think of that were happen to you, like let's say you're so afraid that no one will ever talk to you and and like all that happens, all the thing, nobody is talking to you, you find yourself so alone and so sort of lifeless that you're just like, might as well, what do I have? I have nothing to lose anymore. I'm becoming a fearless person because I don't have any reasons not to. Maybe you just read a book, a line in a book, and it just like clicks for you, or you're listening to a song and just like one beautiful poetic line of this song is just like, oh my gosh, it just does something to you and changes you on the inside, and you like identify with it, or it just like speaks to you. And from that point forward, like it just makes sense to you how to be a fearless person. You never wonder about that again. You're just like, oh my gosh, it just like changed me. I've actually had that happen where I watched a movie and it just like changed me. And I, to this day, cannot even really explain it because the movie wasn't that awesome. And like nobody understands like how I got what I got from it, because they're like, wow, it was like a pretty standard movie that was about like, and so, but it totally did. So anyway, that one's a real life story. All right. So you guys are going to get busy shooting down all the possibility tunnels that you possibly can so that you will have this like beautiful way for anything to come to you because all the paths are worn in and the possibility tunnel has gotten bigger. You can think of it that way, or you can think of it as like you've got a million chutes, you know, a million different slides that it can like slide down for you. And in the meantime, whether you actually believe that happens or not, like, well, why not? You know, it's worth a shot. But in the meantime, it's just awesome to do this imagination exercise and play this way, because it's totally just a game of playing and toying with all the creative possibilities you can come up with.